let's be real. Everyone's talking about AI, ChatGPT, Midjourney, Sora. I mean, it is a full-blown revolution. But here's the thing. While we're all mesmerized by the software, we are totally missing the real story. This isn't just about AI getting smarter. It's about whether humanity itself gets left in the dust. And believe it or not, there's one tiny piece of hardware, one single chip, that might hold the secret to our entire future. So you're going to want to stick with me, because what I'm about to show you, well, it changes absolutely everything. Okay, so here's the core of the problem, right? It's super simple when you break it down. AI is on an exponential curve. It's like a rocket ship. Its power is doubling, then doubling again, at a pace we can't even really wrap our heads around. And us, our own intelligence, the result of millions of years of evolution, is basically just flatlining in comparison. Every single second that ticks by, that gap between us and our own creation gets terrifyingly wider. And that leads us to probably the single most important question of our lifetime. Forget all the other stuff. The real competition isn't between countries anymore. It's between us, the creators, and our own creation. So when an AI can outthink you, outcreate you, and outmaneuver you, what's the next move? How do we not just survive, but actually thrive in that world? Now, this idea of linking our minds to machines, it's not new, not at all. For decades, some of the most brilliant people on the planet have been trying to build this bridge with what are called brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. These were the first real attempts, and they were groundbreaking, for sure. But as you're about to see, they all ran into the same massive wall. So it started with things like EEG caps. Really cool idea, but trying to read brain signals through your skull, it's kind of like trying to listen to a rock concert from the parking lot. Something's happening in there, but it's all muffled. Then came BrainGate, and this was a huge leap. They implanted this tiny bed of rigid needles right into the brain, and it worked. I mean, people could control robotic arms with just their thoughts. But here's the problem. Your brain is soft, and those needles are stiff. And over time, that causes scarring, and the signal just fades away. So then Synchron tried this clever new approach, threading a sensor through your blood vessels. Way less invasive? Absolutely. But the resolution? It just wasn't good enough. Every single step forward came with a huge trade-off. And this is where the entire game changed. Just look at this chart. You had BrainGate, which gave you amazing data, but, well, it damaged the brain. Then you had Synchron, which protected the brain, but sacrificed all that juicy resolution. It was a classic pick-your-poison situation. And then, look at that Neuralink column. It's a complete shift in thinking. We're talking robotic surgery for insane precision, flexible threads that don't cause damage, and over 1,000 channels of data. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a completely new playbook. Which brings us to Neuralink's totally radical solution. See, they didn't just set out to build a better BCI. They took a concept straight out of science fiction and said, yeah, we're going to make that real. The idea is called neural lace. And I want you to forget about some clunky implant. Instead, imagine an incredibly fine, flexible mesh that literally merges with your brain tissue, becoming part of you. This isn't a tool you use, it's an upgrade that integrates directly into your biology. And the goal here, it's not just to send a few simple commands. The goal is to create a massive, high-bandwidth superhighway between your organic mind and digital intelligence. And this is how they actually pulled it off. You have to see this. Those aren't needles. They're these super thin polymer threads. Each one is literally thinner than a single strand of your hair. And because they're so flexible, they can move and flex with your brain, not fight against it. This one change solves the massive problem of scarring and signal loss that stopped every other device in its tracks. This is the physical key that unlocks a stable, long-term connection to the mind. But look, those incredible threads, they're just the sensors. They're the microphones. They need a brain of their own to process all that incredible information. So now let's dive into the heart of this machine, the N1 chip. This is the engine that actually makes this whole revolution possible. If you could actually shrink down and fly inside the N1 device, you'd find this absolute masterpiece of microengineering. You've got these thousands of threads pulling in raw neural signals, you've got the chip processing it all in real time, and you've got this biocompatible case keeping everything safe. It's like a self-contained data center that's the size of a coin. Okay, so let's break down the key parts. First, you've got this custom-built chip, an ASIC, that's basically the device's brain. It's powerful enough to take all those noisy, messy signals from thousands of neurons and clean them up instantly. Those signals are fed in by the flexible threads we just saw. And the whole thing is wrapped in this titanium shell so your body doesn't reject it. Right now, it gets power and sends data through a simple USB-C port, but the endgame is to make it totally wireless. So how does a thought actually become a mouse click? It's wild. First, this surgical robot, that's way more precise than any human hand, weaves these threads into the brain, carefully avoiding any blood vessels. Then, the threads just listen for the tiny electrical sparks from your neurons firing. The N1 chip grabs those signals, boosts them, cleans them up, and turns them into pure digital data. That data is then beamed to your phone or computer, where another layer of AI translates those patterns of thought into action. It's mind-to-machine, totally seamless. Okay, everything we've just talked about is incredible. I mean, helping people with paralysis is a Nobel Prize-worthy achievement, no question. But if you think that's the end goal, you are missing the entire point. That's just step one. Now we get to the secret, the real, jaw-dropping reason this technology actually exists. And there it is, straight from the man himself. The mission was never just about fixing medical problems. It was always about transcendence. It's about ending the competition with AI by choosing to merge with it, to create a true symbiosis. So, what in the world is human-AI symbiosis? It means your brain is no longer a standalone computer. It is the seamless, real-time fusion of your biological consciousness with the practically infinite processing power of a machine. It means your thoughts are no longer limited by the slow speed of biology. That is the endgame, and it's not science fiction anymore. Just stop and think about what this could unlock. We're talking about downloading skills, literally like in the Matrix, accessing all of human knowledge as easily as you form a memory, partnering with an AI to solve things like climate change or cure cancer. And beyond that, you could potentially regulate the very neural circuits that cause depression and anxiety, or restore sight to the blind by feeding video data directly into their visual cortex. The possibilities here are just profound. But here's the thing, when you invent a technology that can literally rewrite what it means to be human, you are opening a door to a future that we can barely even comprehend. And this kind of power forces us to ask some very, very big questions. Let's just game this out for a second. If your thoughts are now data, who owns them? Can your mind be hacked? If this technology is incredibly expensive, do we create a brand new class of super intelligent humans, leaving everyone else behind in the dust? How would you even know if a thought was truly your own? And in a world of hyper-connected minds, what does national security even look like? We are not just building a new gadget here. We are literally architecting the next phase of our species. And these are the conversations we absolutely have to start having right now. So we're left with this. Is this the ultimate tool, the invention that guarantees our place in a future that will be dominated by AI? Is this just the next logical step in our own evolution? Or by merging with machines, are we trading in the very thing that makes us human for something else entirely? The tech is here. The path is being laid, and what comes next? Well, that's up to us.